right, welcome back to the Build to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, joined again by Randy Angston. What's up, buddy?
So it's like 650 times we've done this or so.
648 today? I
think so, yeah.
648 episodes, guys. We're just getting started.
Just warming up.
Just warming up. Tip of the iceberg, toe in the water. We've just been dabbling up until now.
Just a hobby up till this point.
Yeah. Just a little side gig. All right, got a good episode for you guys today. This is very relevant because let's kind of talk about, well, the topic's what gym owners get wrong about semi-private training. Let's talk about a little bit of the evolution of semi-private training for a second, because this whole evolution, and it's funny because the micro trends and the macro trends of the industry now that I've been in it long enough, I can see exactly what's going on and where it's going, where it's been. And it's so funny because, like, when we first opened the gym, one-on-one training was very popular, and the advent of CrossFit was just at the tip of the iceberg, and then boot camp.
Boot camps.
Yeah, boot camp was like all the rage.
Yeah.
And then, obviously as we iterated and come down, I mean, we've been doing semi-private training since 2010. We started with one coach to two clients, then three. Then we strategically grew the amount of clients by one each time. And I sat and watched it for a quarter or 2 quarters to see, are we delivering a great product here?
Yeah.
And, and the program design kind of came along the way and all these things. Anyway, semi-private training is all kind of the thing, right? It's like the perfect hybrid between large group training with low price, high volume, high churn, and one-on-one training, which is very high price, hard to leverage, and very small penetration rate for people that can afford that. Unscalable. And so we live kind of in the semi-private 1 to 6. It's definitely not small group training, personal training. There's like all these different words. So let's just call it for what it is. It's personal training with
individualized programming. Yeah.
Individualized programming, personal training in a shared cost environment. I mean, basically what it is.
Yep.
Okay. So you got this coach that's coaching 6 clients, and, there's a million mistakes that can happen. Number one, I don't have them written down. It's just kind of rattling them off the top of the dome. The first thing is gym owners get wrong is they create semi-private training as a smaller version of their large group training. It's Correct. The same thing with less people. And that's just not going to fly. Because for the group training people, the people that are used to doing the group training, it's almost a benefit to have more people in the thing. So like to take away people and do the same exact workouts that you were doing in the large group, it's actually hurting you. So I've seen that a lot. It's the same, like the mistake is doing the same thing as large group, but just less people. Nobody's paying for the less people part.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake I see. Another thing I see is the same workout for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I believe the value of semi-private training comes from the individualized programming aspect, the personalized attention to that specific, client's goals, movement patterns, limitations, and it's different than the person next to them.
Sure.
So in a large group model, WOD style, everybody's doing the same thing, and hey, you scale it up or down, or maybe the females are using 95 on the bar and the guys are dealing with 35, or you got a smaller kettlebell, but everybody swings and they're doing it for 30 seconds. That's WOD style. Workout of the day, everybody's moving, doing the same thing.
Yep.
Whereas semi-private training, hey, you might have deadlifts, somebody else might have overhead press. Somebody else might be doing lunges and another person's doing squat. It's not the same workout. It's different workouts, but it's for the person. And so it's based on not only their goals and movement patterns and quality of movement, but how many days a week are they training? Mm-hmm. Somebody that's training twice a week on average has a totally different program than somebody who's doing 4 days a week. And that's just how you customize it. And that's where the value lives, I believe.
I agree.
and that personalized coaching aspect. It's personal training. That's what they're paying for, right? Yeah. So that's another thing that we see a mistake. And then, we can get into the semi-private pro style start of this if you want.
Sure, yeah. I mean, one of the things I've seen lately is, and I think this just goes back to underestimating the task at hand, right? Like trying to, I don't want to say hitting the easy button, but assuming that something like a tool like semi-private pro can actually replace a coach.
No.
And the whole reason the program exists is to support the coach, not even the client's the byproduct, right? Like it's a coaching tool first and foremost. Now, the fact that the clients can see their workouts on the iPad or the tablets and things like that, sure, it's got benefit to the client for just that stuff, but it's not designed to replace the coach. And where our clients are showing up and they're going, okay, cool, here's my workout today, thanks, coach, and they're just off and on their own, right?
Right.
And I think I've had some conversations lately with users of Semi-Private Pro where it almost seemed like that was their kind of belief, like, oh, I brought the tool in, so my coach's job just got so much easier. Well, yeah, if they're using that tool, but it's not to replace. Like, this is not a. I mean, there were.
It's not a self-guided.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, exactly. The client's not responsible for coming in, setting up their whole workout, working off the tablet, and then the coach is there for rah-rahs and. Right. And support. They're actively coaching each of these clients, cueing, making sure everything's safe, helping them set up with the right weights and everything like that. And again, going back to not underestimating the task at hand, if you believe that it is a replacement for the coach and the client's going to be working off of the tablet, you're devaluing the service that you're bringing to the table. And the goal here is to add value, not being stripped away to just have like the lowest level of influence in our clients' lives that we can, and just automate this process where they're self-guided. It's really truly to bring a better, higher value experience to the client.
Yeah, I agree. And for those of you that don't know, first time here in Semi-Private Pro, it's an app that we created to solve a problem we're facing here. It's a software. So like, the story goes, I came in one day and I was watching the coaches with their heads buried in the clipboards, trying to shuffle through the papers to figure out what the next movement was for client A, B, and C. And the clients are kind of tapping their foot, waiting around, and I just didn't like it. It was just like, hey, we can do better.
The customer experience was lacking.
Yeah, the customer experience, and I just didn't like it. So, the goal of that software was to make the coaches better. Get their heads up, right? That was a big part of this, was get their heads up, because I was literally watching them ignore clients because their heads were down, and put it on the rack or up on a tablet that they could physically have their heads up so they could talk to the clients and scan the room, head on a swivel, all the things that we believe in. But it's definitely not to replace the coach.
And it's on the fly, right? So if that coach, previously the coach needed to replace a movement because of the client's limitations or whatever for that day, the responsibility was on the coach to go through their Rolodex of movements in their own mind, which takes time. Like, we had that's responsibility that the coach has to have all of that stuff in their knowledge base to be able to do that. Well, how quickly and efficiently can they do that? Two, are they adhering to a system or program that the brand developed? Probably not. Now it's putting the onus back on the coach, and the results of the client are now dependent upon the coach's ability as opposed to the brand system, or the system that's in place.
Totally. Another mistake I see a lot of gyms make with semi-private is not charging enough.
Yeah, agreed.
This is a premium product. And if it's anything other than a premium product, then you're doing it wrong. So like the point of the message is that this is the top of the thing, right? Other than maybe a higher priced one-on-one training, which is a little bit unattainable for a lot of folks, in most markets, that semi-private's the top. Okay. So, you should be pricing this. And again, every market's going to be a little bit different, but like, on the low end, $350 ish, call $329 at the low end. And then on the high end, $700, $699, even $800 if you wanted to get there, depending, right? Manhattan, Miami, etc. So, the average member here is $515 per month. We bill weekly, so but basically that's the number. So about $500 a month. It's right in a sweet spot where clients can kind of afford it. It's not 900, it's 500, right? And so bottom line is, $500 needs to be valuable. So the experience, the delivery, the customization, the gym itself.
That's a big one.
The the gym itself needs to be on a higher standard. Your coaches need to be on a higher standard. Clean cut, whatever, uniform, whatever you guys decide that looks like for your gym, depending on your clientele, that goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. The professionalism, I mean, we talked about that in a previous episode, right? Like if you bring a professional take to this fitness industry, you can get paid accordingly.
Yeah.
And I think the gym owners are we're kind of mailing that aspect in. We just assume like, hey, my person's here to train them. Like that's what they're paying for. Well, is that really the value that they're paying for? Is that, can you feel confident that, it's a irresistible price point when that client is serviced in your business, or are they leaving, wishing that, oh man, I wish the place was a little bit more cleanly. I wish they threw some paint on the walls for the first time in the 10 years I've been here. Like that's where I think there's a lot of fall off too with the standard of the facility. You can upgrade the training all you want to, but if that doesn't come along with it, if you neglect, and I guess it's just intentionality in every area of the business.
Yeah.
Right. From the look and feel, the music that's played. Let's not downplay the music that's played in your facility. Are you playing the music that you and your team wants to hear, or is that the demographic of the clients that are walking through your business? Right. Mm-hmm. Simple things like that matter when we expect a high value client to be willing to pay it.
Yeah. So always default back to the customer experience. That's where my mind's always at, is how do we make this better for the client?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're doing semi-private, it just has to feel, look, smell, taste, priced just different. It needs to be high. If you still offer, or even if you don't offer the large group training aspect in your facility, it lives in your market somewhere. Sure. You need to look, smells, everything different than that. Because people are not going to pay for large group training programming with just less people in the group. In fact, they'll probably pay less because if they're a large group training type of mentality, they want a lot
high energy, a lot of bodies,
a lot of people. And you also have to understand the client that lives at the semi-private training level is not the same person that lives at a large group training level. Okay, you can convert people up. But if there's a person that that wants that, I guess, HIIT training all the time, high heart rate, large group, high energy, they're just not going to like personal training style, slower pace, less people, more methodical, more systematic, better for you. If we're talking science, like strength training.
Yeah.
If they're just like, hey, I just want a class. Like you see these people, and that's fine. They're just not going to be your client. And you also have to understand too, which is really wild and something that really kind of threw us off, was the tribe mentality of the large group training members is not the same at the semi-private. In fact, it's very individual.
I was just going to say it's very individualized, very, It's
about me.
Yep.
Which is totally fine. Just know that when you're trying to put together a social event or a charity workout, it's just going to be lower numbers. It's just part of the I don't know, the demographic that you're going, the avatar. The avatar doesn't want to be around a bunch of people. They want individual, customized training for me, my time, my rack, my equipment, my coach.
Look at luxury. Look at luxury brands. Look at luxury businesses. Look the concierge aspect, right? You walk into a Ritz Carlton and they greet you by name. That's not walking into a Motel 6 where anybody can walk into a Motel 6 and buy a room.
Totally.
Not everyone can walk into a Ritz Carlton and afford that same rental of a bed for the night, in the grand scheme of things, right?
Well,
but it's the experience and the way it's done and everything that comes with it. It is a different person.
Well, it's a different person, but you're doing individual. Like I'll give you a really good example. You're not going to see Waldorf Astoria or Four Seasons or even the place I go to in Vegas, like the Crockford. They're not going to have van shuttles coming from the airport. They're going to have a Bentley or a Rolls Royce pick you up, and it's just you. You're not going with the group.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's large group training. The group, right? The volume of people versus individualized.
Yeah. Great point.
So it's just like they just don't have the vans. Like, of course, the Hilton and all these other places are going to, we got a shuttle that goes every 15 minutes.
Yeah, you're waiting for 15 minutes for everybody. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, these guys, they have a black car, or they have a limo or whatever. It's a custom experience for that client.
Flying private versus waiting in the lobby at a Southwest line to jump in, and
it's just a different person. And that's just what you need to know. I mean, period. At the end of the day, that's your clientele you're trying to attract at this $500, $600, $800 price point. And they want what they want. So just be that person, or go the other way and be the cheapest. But you can't be in the middle. That's all I'm trying to say is you got to be one or the other.
Sure.
And just really focus on that experience. I can't stress that enough. That's why in our coaching program, the delivery systems are our biggest part of that coaching, because there's so many little things that go into it. Like our lifetime members have custom parking, like, reserved spaces up front.
Custom lockers with their names on it.
They got it, right? So they're just, it's for them. So anyways, stop making mistakes. Do it right. Get the money that you deserve.
One thing you mentioned, like, sure, there's different demographics and, like, everything that you just lined out, right? Sure, maybe you're in a small B or C market. The systems that run semi-private, the way it's done, the type of training that's provided, all of those things, guys, carry over in every demographic whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Your price point might not match ours apples to apples.
It might be even more, by the way.
It could be. Absolutely.
There's plenty of gyms that are charged more than us.
Absolutely, right? But again, those marketplaces warrant a higher price point because of competition, because of
whatever
affluence, whatever it may be. But going the other way, because I hear gym owners talk to me all the time, well, I don't think that can work in where I'm at.
Okay.
Well, I don't agree at all, because it does, right? It's what is being done. You might not get the same dollar for dollar that we do or that other gyms do for it, but if you have the systems in place, you deliver the type of training that's supposed to be in place, you have a high value experience for the client that's in alignment with the same way every other gym that we're talking about does, you're going to warrant or anchor a price point in your demographic that's higher than a group training rate. And that's the difference. Is it's not necessarily an apples to apples, dollar for dollar. It's what can I do in my marketplace to be the highest value service in my market.
And definitely higher than large group training.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a big takeaway that I know a lot of gym owners are like, well, I don't think semi-private will work here. Nobody's doing it. Well, guess what? That's a strategic advantage.
That's the best time to do it. It's be the first. Be the first, blue ocean, first mover advantage, they call it. So, you can be that place that everybody's talking about. And I think pretty soon somebody's going to copy you. But that's just kind of people who can't think for themselves will, copy all of what you do.
But you're still the innovator. People still know that you are the one, if as long as you're doing it right and you're loud and proud in that little, community that you're in.
Yeah, and by the time that they end up copying you, you're already like years ahead of them, light years. So just take that shot. Guys, if you need help doing this, that's all we do. We got a springboard program that'd probably be a good fit for you, but jump on a call either way. Link in show notes. Hopefully that helps you guys get this semi-private training model off the ground, because I believe wholeheartedly that the semi-private 6-to-1 higher price point custom program style model is the only way to generate the highest income out of your gym.
Agreed.
That's just what we've done the math, and
it's $1 million model.
There you go. All right, that's it for this episode. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. All right, thanks for listening to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. If you want more help growing your business, join our free Facebook group, Profit Accelerator, helping training gyms grow to $30,000 a month and beyond. We'd love to see you there. Go check out the show notes for the link and keep building something great, and we'll see you in the next episode.